Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. Now, as you can see, I am on the road again. I am at the Gundies, but that does not stop this information train because I'm going to show you something right now that I'm not even sure it made it past an editor from the mainstream gun control news media. This is something that's key because they actually agree with us. I'm no more setup. I'm just going to show you. Everything's linked into the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one. And if you are a new or returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and making sure that notification bell is on. We need as many people as possible to get into the fold to help counter the narrative, just like what I'm about to show you. And thank you so much in advance for your consideration. So as I mentioned in the introduction, guys, every once in a while, the media will put out an article where I catch it and I have to read it like 5 times because it kind of affirms our point and disaffirms or disavows their point. This is interesting because it's around gun violence and the actual implications. They're openly saying on ABC that over a majority of the incidents in the United States are suicides, which flies directly in the face of gun control narrative saying it's all gun violence and it's all terrible. In fact, look at this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field because this, again, I don't know how it got out. About 116 people died from gun violence per day in the U.S. this year. Gun Violence Archive, more than half of all gun violence deaths this year were deaths by suicide. Now, that headline starts out like a normal gun control article. It makes it seem a tremendously bigger mountain than it actually is, but then the subtitle actually says a vast majority were suicides, which points to a different problem and undermines the gun control narrative. Wait, it's not an anomaly. Check this out. So far, 6,278 people have died from gun violence this year in the U.S. as of February 23rd, according to the Gun Violence Archive, which is roughly an average of 116 deaths per day. Now, again, that is a gun control talking point. Gun violence, that's something that doesn't exist. It's people violence. They use a tool. But the other thing is Gun Violence Archive. We say it every time they're mentioned. It is a left-wing source. It is a biased source. Listen to what the next piece says in ABC of all places. Deaths by suicide made up the vast majority of gun violence deaths this year, 56%. The nonprofit Gun Violence Tracker reports there's been an average of 66 deaths by suicide per day in 2023 up to now. So 56% of gun violence or gun deaths in the United States were caused by suicide. If it was truly about reducing those numbers in the United States from a gun control perspective, don't you think that you could achieve a 50% goal in 1 year and really call that a win if you just focused on mental health, suicide prevention, and getting the people the help that they need when they need it? But no. You got to fight through gun control because that's your narrative. That reinforces everything that you believe in. It's not about the end goal. It's about the ideological reinforcement. That's what we're dealing with here, and that's why it's so important to spread this stuff out, because that is the fight we're doing every day. Now, again, you would think that if this was a gun violence problem, that the gun-prone states, like the free ones, would actually have more of this than anywhere else. That's not the case. Check this out. The majority of these deaths have occurred in Texas, California, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Illinois, and Louisiana. That spans the entire metric across the board from extreme gun control to extreme freedom. The consistency is not the idea that a gun exists. The consistency is that this is a universal problem. Again, if it was truly about reducing the impact to the population, you would see it hitting on the fact that maybe we could reduce by 56%, or at least take a big chunk out of that. But they still dive into gun control. They don't mention mental health. They don't mention any of the other resources that people need. It's all about gun control, which points to the fact that this is an ideological reinforcement. In fact, they kill bills that harden schools, and they kill bills that provide for mental health services because it doesn't require gun or doesn't include gun control. We cover it all the time on this channel. This is not about the problem and the solution. This is about control. Anyway, let me show you this next one. Again, I can't believe this got out. The U.S. has surpassed 39,000 deaths from gun violence per year since 2014, according to data from the Gun Violence Archive. Still, gun deaths are down from 2016, 2017, 2018, when the total number of deaths each year surpassed 50,000. There were 44,310 such deaths in 2022. So not only are they openly telling you that 56% of all the gun deaths that they've told you this year was the worst on record, remember that, all of these talking points, but at the same time, they're also lower than 16, 17, and 18. Interesting how the data actually supports our perspective and our points and the freedom of the Second Amendment. And it kind of flies right in the face of the gun control movement and really points them out for exactly what they are: control, not solve. That's incredibly important. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.